G'day chaps. Firstly, let me tell you, this is not going to be a rant, okay? I've got no time for that and people who do it. But I was actually planning to do a first impressions video on Elite Dangerous Horizons yesterday. However, I quickly realized that there was really no depth to the game. There was none added as soon as I landed on a planet and got into my SRV. Then, having thought about it a little bit, I went over to Reddit and I saw that I wasn't alone. There is a massive thread right at the top of the Elite Dangerous subreddit, and it's all solely about the problem with Elite at the moment. So I thought I'd summarize some of the arguments and my thoughts for you, my dear subscribers, because you might find it interesting. Firstly, let me just go over the argument. Basically, it's that there's not enough content. There's not enough to do. There's not enough to work towards. And Elite is designed to make working towards anything, and that anything basically means rank progression or money, as they're the only two goals in the game, a boring grind. In fact, grind is something you hear a lot in any discussion about Elite. So that's the argument. But is it fair? Well, having read the entire thread and thought about it, I think we need to place Elite and its development into context a little bit and step back from the fray to help us sort of get our heads around what's going on. In this, personally, I think there are two things that spring to mind. To begin with, I think we have to remember that any developer first has to build their game engine and in-game systems before they can begin adding any content. I mean, just look at Star Citizen. They've been at it for 3 years now and have only just released something playable. Then the other thing is, of course, that there is the competition with Star Citizen. Frontier knew they had competition. Rebirth, which is affectionately named Stillbirth by those like me who were so disappointed by the launch, failed to deliver. But Frontier knew that Star Citizen was serious contenders, and they had the cash, and they had the ambition, and the ability to match. So I suspect that Frontier focused on releasing a working game that was good enough, and had always planned to add planetary landings before adding more depth to the game. And perhaps this means that we'll need to wait for first-person characters before that depth is actually added. If you kind of think about it, power play is somewhat worrying, as I believe it was Frontier's first attempt to add some depth, and the general consensus is that it basically failed in that goal. On the other hand, the fact that pretty much all of Elite's player base agree that the game is currently failing to deliver is going to mean that they're going to have to take notice. This isn't to guarantee they will, of course, but the risks will grow exponentially the longer they leave it. Star Citizen is hot on their tails and already beginning to steal the show. I'm sure there are plenty of people at Frontier who have that little voice in their heads just telling them they better not blow it, as they could be relegated to little more than being the game that wasn't quite Star Citizen. Now, don't get me wrong, I still plan to do a Let's Play series on Horizons just as soon as I can. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. But I think what we all need to do right now is just take Elite for what it is. You have to roleplay the game if you really want to enjoy it, because there's no goal set out for you beyond getting another ship or more money, and that's just boring. So I will do that Let's Play, and as if we take it as it is and we roleplay, that's cool. But I think we all know it will involve a little bit more space tracking or NPC hunting, basically with just a few more planets thrown in. Of course, if you're interested, I'll add the link to that discussion on Reddit, so you can read it and add some comments of your own. It is interesting. I really enjoyed reading pretty much all of it, and it's very, very long. But yeah, if you want to get into what's wrong with Elite, and also lots and lots of really creative, good suggestions from a lot of very involved and dedicated players, then it's certainly worth reading. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Do let me know if you like this kind of discussion piece. I don't do this very often, but I have been thinking about it, and if you are interested in hearing my thoughts about certain games and a kind of rambling roundup like this, do let me know. Other than that, yeah, check me out on Patreon, and Ciao for now. See you in the next one.